When it comes to setting up AI workflows, it could get overwhelming trying to decide what is an agent, what should be a skill, where do we put our instructions, and how do we keep everything organized so that regardless of what harness we're using, whether we know that we have the right solution to the problem. Notion just released skills, whether we're mentioning those pages to take action in Notion, or if we're combining them in a sequential order for a custom agent pulling information and instructions from multiple skills. One major problem that this solves is to do something like creating a project from a template using database automations. It's a little clunky to go into database automations, or if we've created buttons to go into those settings and scroll through endless tasks and keep that up to date. Not the best format for making quick changes. Whereas in the example we're going to take a look at today, we're really just creating a page. We're dictating in Notion AI what we want to be in the skill. In this case, we're looking at a marketing campaign. So we'll be creating a new project, tasks, deliverables, and even blocking out a few meetings at the project start, midway, and at the project's completion. We're also going to take a look at where to find your skills, some additional database properties to sort them so that you can not only use these skills within Notion, but reference them or even download them to be able to use in Cloud Code, Codex, or another harness. If you're here for the first time, my name is Dave DeCespedes. I'm a certified Notion consultant. I help teams both get up and running in their Notion workspaces and help implement AI-driven workflows. So if you want to stay up to date on new Notion features or practical AI workflows that have worked for clients, definitely subscribe. Before we get into building, just want to set some context. We can think of skills as a set of repeatable instructions. It could be a template for something you create, edit, or revise. It could also be a reference page that tells agents how you want a response structured. Notion's rule of thumb on this is actually pretty useful. If you've copied and pasted the same prompt twice, it probably should be a skill. The example that we're going to take a look at, creating a project from a skill, has probably been the most popular one, where we're taking a repeatable project, in this case a marketing campaign, and really just populating everything from tasks to meetings to reference documents, stuff that you could do in database automations, but it's a little clunky and it's a lot easier to keep up to date if you've just got a skill page that anybody on the team could just open that page, make edits, and you know that every future project is going to be structured in that format. It's also worth noting what exactly is the difference between instructions in your Notion AI chat versus skills versus custom agents. So just to kind of clear that up, instructions are preferences that you can just kind of copy and paste into chat to get a specific result. A skill is something that you run when you need it. You provide the current context, you mention it, and your agent follows those instructions. A custom agent has its own instructions, access, and triggers, but it could also reference one or multiple skills. That's where you go when you have a workflow that's running on a schedule or gets triggered when there's a key update. Maybe it's a database property or when a Slack message comes in. In this case, where we're creating a marketing campaign skill, we do need some context like who's the lead, what's the start and end date for the project. In the case that we say wanted to send a weekly update to team or department leads on what is the status of this campaign, and we're pulling data from tasks that were completed or meeting notes, that's a scenario where we probably want to set up a custom agent. It could reference the skill for context, but it's also referencing the project itself to get a sense of what is the activity within the workspace to send those updates to team members. So you can get a sense of the difference between a skill is just setting up instructions for one specific workflow. An agent is synthesizing information and then taking action, maybe reaching out to team members or sending updates. I've also noticed that when I just link to the Notion page, if I'm say in Codex and it's linked to my Notion workspace, it could read it and interpret it as instructions, similar to if we're referencing a Markdown file. So it's pretty much working exactly the same. So I'm finding that organizing skills in Notion is actually a pretty nice way to keep everything organized and to do things by group, by workflow, or by department. Just so you know where to find this, if you go into settings and you go into Notion AI, this may look slightly differently. This is on an enterprise plan, but should find it in the same spot. You'll see here we've got our connectors, agents, meeting notes, and then the last one, which is skills. So a couple things that we can edit here. In the case that you want to disable skills altogether so that they don't show up anywhere, you can disable that. And allowing local skill downloads, this is for scenarios where employees want to use another harness and want to download it from Notion. Leaving that turned on allows team members to download that skill. And when we click Open Library, this is going to take us to our skills database. The sidebar might look a little bit different. This is a new updated sidebar that's still in beta and will be rolling out soon. But if you go into the library, this is where you'll see everything from team spaces to your favorites, meeting notes, etc. And skills is a new tab. You can do things like enable or disable specific skills. If we go into improve writing, I think this is the default skill that loads automatically. And if we open any skill, it does not have to live in the skills database. You could turn any page into a skill, but you'll know that it's a skill if it's got this blue banner. If we click try now, it's gonna open Notion AI with this page mentioned so that it's using this as instructions to answer your question. And a quick side note, if you're anywhere in your workspace and you want to just turn an existing page into a skill, very easy, just click into the page menu and then go into use with AI. And we've got a few options. We're going to select skill, but you can also turn this into instructions for an agent, or you can use it as instructions for meeting notes. One thing I've been working with clients on is when it comes to creating SOPs, this could be pretty overwhelming versus just creating a new page, having the instructions turn the conversation into an SOP so it has that format. So literally all you have to do, talk about a workflow, what are the steps, who's involved, where are the checkpoints, how do we know when it's done, and record it, transcribe it, and then if we're referencing an instructions page, we have an SOP result. So really easy and shrinks the amount of time to create an SOP down to almost zero. If we click use as AI skill, you'll see we've got that blue banner and it should show up in our skills database. Let me go to skills and we've got that new proposal writing here. You'll also see where it's coming from and where it lives. So in my case, I've got the Notion focused skills in the default skills database, but then there's a separate skills database for other harnesses. Just having it in one place in a Notion database just makes it easier to keep track of what's active, what can we archive, or what do we need to repurpose. Okay, so we have a bullet pointed outline of what goes into our marketing campaign, including documents that we're creating, tasks that different team members are executing on, what meetings or check-ins do we need to have. So what we're gonna do is just using Notion AI to add a little bit more context here and turn this into a skill page that we can use and populate key pages where we need them. Added this as a bullet point. I always recommend to clients, if we're not quite sure what's happening in a workflow, just start with a bullet pointed page and add details as we go. Usually the more we're thinking about it, the more steps we remember, and with a bullet pointed outline, we can create skills. So when in doubt, just create a bullet pointed list. All right, so we're gonna open Notion AI and we're going to ask for a few things. We're turning this into a skill. Some of the things that we need to do, create databases that are gonna live within this page. One for tasks, one for documents, and one for meetings. Tasks and deliverables should both get added to the task database. Add the essential properties that we're going to need for each database. So for tasks, we want to have a relative due date in relation to the project start date, who's taking the lead, and if there's any additional notes to reference for that task. For meetings, we want to have the date relative to the project start date. And for documents, any properties that would make sense to fill in. And then actually below this, I'm just gonna add one more note saying, we also want to order each list. So with tasks, put them in order, use a number property. And then one last note, we're just gonna say, because this is a skill page, add in any additional instructions sections that we would need to fill in to use this to create a new project page with all of the related pages. So we're gonna let that run, and what that's gonna do is basically take the information that we have on this page, turn it into more structured databases. Again, these are databases that are not really connected to anything else. They live within the page. It's really just to structure the task list and the meetings list. This has been useful because if we, for example, have a task database, we probably have a lot more properties in there that we're managing, whereas in the skill page, we really just need the name of the task, the order, like what task number is it, and if there's any other context, like if it's referencing another page in the workspace, or if we know that it's going to a specific team member, we can fill in those details, but we want to start as simply as possible. Okay, we're going to see what Notion AI did. It looks like it created pages in each of these databases. We can see here that it formatted the page into certain sections like inputs that we need. For example, we want the workspace user to add a project start date, add a name, etc. Some reminders. And then if we scroll down, this is also something that if we find that there are sections that we really don't need or is a little bit overkill, just dictate to Notion AI, hey, we don't need this section, we can remove it. But if we go down to the bottom, we could see it added all of those tasks that were in as bullet points into this task database. This does not look right. The order should be starting from 1 and should work its way upward. So each task has its own order number. We're gonna have that update. So we want this to sort just by way of what task needs to be completed when. All right, so we've got these listed, but let's say that we're using subtasks. So what we're gonna say is organize tasks into parent and subtasks, use 1.1, 1.2, etc. So we can still keep the ordering, but group these into subtasks. If we've got multiple teams involved in a campaign and we want to use subtasks to just be able to collapse and expand task lists, that could be helpful. So we're going to make that one change. And then I think from there, we're going to turn this into a skill. Again, if you're doing something similar, setting up a project template using a skill, you want to make sure that whatever's getting populated serves a clear purpose, especially when it comes to populating tasks and meeting placeholders. We don't want to bombard our team with hundreds of new tasks if it's not something that we need to track or mark as done, or it could just be a simple note or checklist. So anything that does get in here means that we're tracking the status, maybe using page level comments to review, edit, revise, and mark something as done. But it looks like this didn't turn on sub items. It just made a relation and then grouped, but we actually want the sub items. Just so that same formatting stays when we do populate it in our actual task database. So we're going to turn that on, show parents and sub items. And then we're just going to say update the task database using the sub items that were just turned on versus grouping by parent task. And then I think from there we should be good to go to turn this into a skill. This is looking a lot better. So if we expand here, we could see everything is grouped by parent task and we've got our order numbering. If we're populating a high volume of tasks, we want to make sure that we can keep them in order and avoid a scenario where it's sorting by when it was created or we need to kind of manually read. So we're good to go there. But if you're doing this, definitely review all of the text that's set up. And if there's anything that's not relevant, just delete it. So from here, we're going to go to use with AI and then use as an AI skill. From here, we're just going to read this GT campaign project. A couple of things that we probably want to note is I'm going to say update this page. We want to make sure that the pages go to, and then I'm going to mention our actual databases. So we've got our projects database, tasks, and meetings. If we've got multiple databases, if we've got different departments, we want to make sure that they're going to the right databases. That's just going to hopefully add some instructions somewhere on this page. While it's doing that, I actually want to format the project page. So when we open the project, we should be able to see tasks, meetings, and documents, linked views of those databases. So I'm going to add one more change here saying when we create the project page, show linked table view for tasks, followed by a list view of meetings and a list view of documents. If we're using ordering, they should default to sorting in that order, and that should populate automatically on the project page. We're bypassing having to set up database templates or automations to do that. We're just putting that into the skill page as an instruction. And from there, I think we're going to be finally creating our campaign page. Let's see what added these little details. Okay, so we're good to go. Now we're going to move this to the skills database because up until now, this was in private pages, so other team members wouldn't be able to see it. Once we move it into skills, that means other team members can access it. It's probably the easiest way to organize all of our skills across departments. And now that we have that, we're going to go into Notion AI, start a new chat, and we're going to say create a new project for Clementine AI agent launch for December 4th, starting today. And then we're going to mention the GTM campaign project skill and press enter. We're going to let that run. It should look at the skill and then create a project, create tasks, meetings, documents, link them all together so that when we open that project page, it has everything that we need to start. If we can get that first batch of stuff populated automatically, we just remove the time having to set this up manually and just go in and focus on customizations, what's unique about this project that we want to add in. Let's see. So it's asking us for some clarification on here. I'm just going to respond with the launch is December 4th. So work our way backward to fill in the start date and any relative dates or deadlines. And then for missing information, this is a product launch. Target audience is previous and current clients. Dave is the lead. We'll leave other owners blank for now. And yeah, we'll just go with that for now. And I'll skip ahead so you don't need to watch Notion AI thinking every thought. That took a little bit, but we've got our new project page. So we're going to open this up and see what we have. This is probably going to look different. I've got tabbed layouts at the project page level where we've got sprints, tasks, meetings, and documents. But in the body of the page, we've got product launch and info, campaign overview. Here we could see our tasks ordered by these parent tasks, along with our blocked off meetings and documents. This might be from a project template that just pre-populates the task. So we're going to delete this. And let's just kind of quickly go over to the tab. So yeah, this has our tasks. Meetings is a list view. It didn't create documents in our documents database. So that would be something that we'd want to go back into the skill page, specify, hey, when we create these documents, put them in the shared documents database. Now thinking back on it, I forgot to put that in the chat. And then probably do things like in the area, we can make this marketing or product so that it's populating by area if it's something that you're organizing that way. Otherwise, the project page is active and we've got everything populated. The key thing to remember here is once we get a skill up and running and it's doing something like populating a new project, when we notice issues or things that are inaccurate, rather than updating the project page itself, going back into the skill, updating the skill instructions so that we make sure that future actions that are happening are up to date and accurate, rather than updating individual projects or pages. So it's a little bit of a culture shift, especially when we're onboarding teams to using skills versus just using prompts. So something to keep in mind just to make sure that the skills that we have are active, useful, and are actually doing a lot of lifting to speed up work. One more thing to keep in mind, I'll say the biggest focus with clients is really just raising awareness that the library is a thing where we could click into it and see all of our team spaces, favorites, recents, private pages in one place. And adding skills here just makes it a lot easier to find and discover skills. Just thinking if we're onboarding new teammates, having this view as the meta layer to find everything in the workspace has been super helpful. So that's the setup. It's pretty straightforward. Create a new page, give it all of the context it needs, use Notion AI to fill in all of the details, or at least get you a first draft that you can edit to hopefully speed up the process, and test it to see how it works just in case there's anywhere that needs improvement. One thing to think about if you're using multiple tools is whether it makes sense to use the skills database in Notion. Again, if you're working in a team and a lot of the work is happening in Notion, this is a no-brainer setting it up in here. We also looked at how to quickly export these skills, which makes it easier for team members to load it into ChatGPT, Codex, Claude Code, to load it into another harness, to load it into another app. But if you're working solo, you're on a desktop computer, it's always on and you have recurring workflows, it may still make sense to have a local folder within your documents just to kind of keep those files in one place. And similarly, make sure that your harnesses are pointed to that one location. So if you want more walkthroughs on Notion, AI, or both, definitely subscribe. And if there's specific workflows that you're thinking about, drop a comment below and we might come 3, 2, 1. And we might cover it in a future video. That's all I've got for this one. So see you in the next one. Cheers.